Hey guys, welcome back to Burnout's Hot Rod Shop. We're going to take a little break from this 8-part auction haul and look at another auction haul and a couple yard sales I picked up. So in real time tomorrow, you'll be seeing the first episode of the auction haul. But I've already filmed. The first one's uploaded to YouTube. I'm going to get the rest uploaded soon. And the same auctioneer, Randy, he's a friend of mine that also has a booth, or his auctions are run out of the same flea market that we're at. He had a live auction. So we went there. I spent a total of $32. I think it was $32.34, if I remember correctly. And then I stopped at a couple of yard sales and spent $11 at 2 yard sales. So there's going to be a lot of stuff you guys don't see in here. Like I've got 304 stainless steel bolts, washers, and locking nuts. I got that lot for $1. But it's hardware to work on stuff like this truck and the Cobra. So it's not anything really that interesting for you guys. I got 2 of the 60 drawer hardware cabinets. Get, the little blue metal ones with the clear plastic drawers, full of hardware, along with some of the other stuff we're going to see here, all in one big buy it for one price dollar. So I got that. So you're going to see, those kinds of things I'm not showing you. I also picked up a lot for my son. He's getting into woodworking. So if you haven't seen it yet, in the 8-part series, there's a woodworker's toolbox, old wooden toolbox, and some planes and stuff like that were in it. He wanted all that, so I gave it to him. But then at this auction, I picked up 6 1885 to 1917 Diston saws for $1 for the entire lot of 6. And then at the yard sale, one of the yard sales I went to that was $10, 5 of that was for a Miller's Falls miter box. And it's an old school cast iron hardwood base with the cast iron piece that you can rock to set the angle. So that was really cool. It cost me $5. It's Miller's Falls. So I wasn't going to pass that up. So I gave that to him already. So we won't see those things, but you'll see the highlights, the good stuff, I guess is a good way to put it. I already picked through and put a lot of things in the dollar bin at the flea market. I probably filled one of those a third of the way up. Because, you buy a box of wrenches or a bucket of wrenches for $1 for the entire bucket. You're pulling a couple Craftsmans and Williams and that kind of stuff out, and the Century and the other Asian-made ones. I just throw those in the dollar bin. So now that I've been rambling for 2 minutes and 59 seconds, let's get into this, and I'll show you guys what I got. So this is the stuff I was talking about that I picked up. 1962 Mac toolbox. We've got a bucket over here of wrenches, pliers, that kind of stuff. I've already went through and pulled all the dollar items out of that. More stuff here. More stuff here. And then the things I told you that I wasn't going to show you. So I'll get this torn down and go through the highlights. So we're going to start off right here. Don't mind the mess, the kitty litter stuff. It's actually stuff from the series you're watching currently. It still has to be sorted and cleaned. I picked up this toolbox and the stuff on top. This was all part of a dollar lot with the 2 storage bins that I told you I got, that kind of stuff. And we have, and what is this one? A Weller Apex solder gun. Switch seems really nice on it. I have not plugged it in yet. I will give it a try though, eventually. And then in here, if I can get it open with one hand, we have another Weller soldering gun. Switch on it feels just as nice. And then also in that lot was this guy. So this is a KD 610. They're warning triangles. So essentially you pull them out, you set them up alongside the road, and they unfold into triangles. They're pretty heavy. I've had some before that I picked up that were plastic, all plastic. Those are not, those are metal with some plastic. So all good stuff to clean up and put at the bin if nothing, or in the flea market if nothing else. Then we got this 1962 Mac Tools toolbox. This thing's pretty cool. I got it for $7, and it had a brand new toe chain on top of it. So my thought is I paid $5 for this, $2 for the chain. And this guy opens up. Hang on one second. Opens up like that. Just a little rough to do with one hand. The drawers all work really nice. Nothing's really rusted out. It needs cleaned out. I've had all the drawers open. But that one's gonna argue with me. And we got a little fuse holder in there. And this does have an option for 2 drawers. The drawers are no longer there, but that was in the 1962 catalog as well. So I did find this in the 62 catalog. I thought it was pretty cool. I'm gonna clean this up. Eventually, I will give it a repaint, get rid of the John Deere green. And I'm not sure what I'm gonna put in it. I may put my Mac tools in it. I may put some of my vintage Craftsman or something like that in it too. It just has that cool vintage look. And for $5, it had to come home with me. So I'll get the camera switched around and we'll go see what I got on the table. Okay, so we'll start to peek at this stuff. This was essentially, most of this stuff here was the remainder of that dollar lot with the soldering irons and that kind of stuff. Except this guy, this plastic case here, those were separate from a yard sale. I paid $5 for those. And then there will be a couple other pieces that came from a lot I had to pay $5 for. But there's one specific piece in there I was going for, so I wasn't complaining. So I'll go through that first lot and then probably, actually, you know what? Let's do this. I'll go through the stuff that came from the auction. So this is about $6 if you count in the last couple things we looked at. We got this Johnson file. This file had no name on it. I think it was the only no name. There's only one no name. That must be 2. Nope, this one does have a name. So it's a Simmons. And then this one. See if we can see that's a Bedford, made in England. So I thought that was kind of cool. This ball peen says it's a Century 601-12. The head has an arrow and says Pierce. And then that side is just way too boogered up to tell what it said. But it did say something. Got these, and they work. Jaws don't look too bad. And they're Klein & Sons. Not sure if this works or not. It's a Craftsman air hammer. It was in the box, so it wasn't something I was necessarily going for in that box, but you know, it's cool. There we've got this monkey wrench. I'm not sure. W something B, maybe W&B company. Made in USA, warranted. Apparently an airplane going by. That's about the lowest I've ever heard one. And it's the perfect handle style handle. And it's tight. Both scales feel nice and tight. The motion is smooth. It works really well. It's got a little chewed up area here and stuff. But I think that one will fix up and clean up really nice, make a fun project. So this was one of the reasons why I went after that dollar lot. And that is, it's a Stanley Handyman egg beater drill. Handle's got a little bit of wear in the red, but nothing major. And it turns really nicely. So, figure I bought that for $1, and all the rest of that stuff came in for free. I'm not gonna pull this out right now. I have one of these in the house that's just the sockets and the ratchet. This is like the full set. So it may go in one of my little Harbor Freight boxes, because these are, you know, kind of like the Father's Day trinkets they get the kids to buy at school. Has no real value to it, but it's cool. These are just drop forged USAs. Everything seems to be in good shape. I see forged steel. It just says forged steel on both sides. They'll clean up and go in the booth. Here we've got this guy. I'm looking under the camera with you. There it is. It's a Stanley Handyman cabinet screwdriver. A little chewed up on the end, but not too bad for as old as it is. This guy, I'm really not sure. May just be some generic screwdriver. It's the square shank. I wonder if they're practicing flyovers for the race. It's the only time I hear the jets that low. The Pocono race is next weekend. So these, as you can see, are Peterson vice grips. And they're old enough, they're, maybe they're just broken. They don't have the release, but I don't see any mechanism for the release. So these may be the ones that you have to hand, yeah, because it's bent this down here. So I think these are the ones you have to release by hand without having the quick release. So that's an earlier version of those. This is just some stock. That thing's a heck of a punch or something, though. So that'll be a keeper. I think that the two screwdrivers were in the $5 box. And I think we've been through everything. The vice grips were actually in the $5 box, and so was the piece of stock. Oh, and so was that perfect handle. So, yeah, we're kind of into the $5 box stuff. Totally forgot to tell you that. This one's made in USA, but I don't see any other markings. But it's in good shape. It'll clean up, and it's still a made in USA, right? We got this guy, which is a Power Master. Nice little stubby number 2 Phillips. This putty knife. Didn't really clean it up to see if there was a name on it anywhere, but it's a nice putty knife for sure. We've got these hose clamp pliers, and these should be, oh, there it is. They're KDs. It's usually a dead giveaway to what they are. I see they're the adjustable ones, so that you can't over expand. So those are really nice hose clamp pliers, and they're KDs. This one is a pretty crusty Stanley 100 Plus. The blade is actually not in too bad a shape for as crusty as it looks. Actually, my son was using that. I was like, that looks like the one I keep out here on this table. So here we've got this adjustable. And I've had a bunch of these, and every one was made in Taiwan, made in China, something like that. This one, Covers Company, Bedford, Oregon. Ace slip and lock nut wrench. So this one I'll probably keep in my adjustable collection. I've not kept any of the Chinese ones. Here we've got a nice little Dunlop Yankee type. I'm trying to see if it says there. Made in Germany, just like the Sears ones, or just like the Craftsman ones. Works really nice. And I'm getting a growing collection of Dunlop. So that'll go real nice with that growing collection of Dunlop. And here, this one just says USA. That tip is pretty toast, so it may just go in a dollar bin. And still from that $5 box, we've got this super adjustable 10, which of course is J.H. Williams and Company. Little gummed up, but not bad. And these are a screw set, so they come out a lot easier. And then the $5 box, the entire reason that I chased after it was this guy. If you can read that, it's a 15 dime alloy, which is Diamond Caulk and Horseshoe Company, Duluth. This one just a little bit dirty, but it turns pretty well. And I've looked at these 15s multiple times online. I keep seeing them for between $50 and $100. There's just no way I'm paying that for an adjustable, even though I wanted a diamond. But buying the whole box for $5, absolutely. Oh, and the final piece from that auction is a screw starter. And somewhere on here, we got USA. I'm not really picking up a name on that. Maybe you guys know who it is. Wood handle's in good shape. I cleaned the shaft up. It was a little rusty, but not bad. Threads all look really good. I've always liked screw starters. I'm not sure why. So from one of my yard sale stops, I picked up these things. So this is a no-name extension. This is a busted no-name universal joint. Here we've got a 1/4 to 3/8 Craftsman adapter. And it looks like a G1 10mm socket. So I found somebody's 10mm socket. And I also found their Craftsman 13mm socket. You say all this stuff was $5. Next up is this Craftsman 1/4 drive set. You can see on the sticker, it's that round head biplane. The earlier one than the Tri-Wing. I don't know where people come up with all these names at. It's a deep set, and all the pieces are there. And the ratchet does turn. One thing I find interesting is they made this blow mold, obviously for a ratchet more of this head style. But even on the sticker, they have this ratchet in it. If it didn't have the sticker, I wouldn't believe that was the right ratchet. I'd probably put one of the more traditional style ratchets in. So it needs a little cleanup. Got a nice little 1/4 drive set. And then I picked up this ratcheting Craftsman. And it is a 13/16 and 7/8. and both sides turn. And then this grouping here, the ratchet was in the box, but it doesn't match the box. So it is a Craftsman, and it's a VP 44808. It turns really well. And then the actual set that's in here is all industrial. So it is missing the ratchet, but it does have the extension. And then we've got the sockets in 3/8 drive from 3/4 to 3/8, except a 9/16. So the 9/16 that was in here is a Craftsman V, or no, is it a G? A G series. I think I have a 9/16 in the house. I'm not sure. The 3/8 I don't have nearly as much of. It does still have the spark plug socket. And it also has this industrial quarter drive. And we've got 4 quarter drive sockets to go with it. And it is really hard to see on the sticker, but it does say Select Steel. As we've talked about in the past, that was a registered industrial trademark name. So we can bend this tab in a little bit. Yeah, it still doesn't want to grab. So that's the first part of the pickup. I will pull the wrenches that are in the bucket out, and we'll go over those next. Okay, so on to the wrenches. These are all Husky up here. So we've got a 3/4, 11/16, 5/8, 9/16. We missed the half and the 7/16, and then 3/8, 5/16, and a quarter. So close to a full set, but not quite there. In the stubbies, we've got a 3/4, 11/16, and 5/8. So those 3 are in order. Up here, we have a bunch of extra 5/8, 1 extra 11/16, and 2 extra 3/4. So a decent little bit of Husky that was in with the wrenches. Like I say, it was $1 for all of these combined. So everything you see in this grouping, except for the things that are down here and down here, so you're not even seeing them up here yet, cost $1. Here we've got an SK, and it's a, where'd it go? There it is. 3/4. And then over here, we've got a Craftsman 5/8 combination wrench, Flying V or double line V, whatever you prefer to call it. I don't care. Craftsman combination 3/4, another Flying V, double line V. Craftsman double open, 15/16 and 1. And that one is a 1945 to 47. Doesn't have the, oh no, it does. It's on the other side. Okay, that's a variant I have not seen yet. The V before the Forged in USA, not after. Huh, interesting. And we've got an upside down Fairmont 5/8 and 9/16. And a Barcelo 7/16 and 3/8 double box. So we'll stay in the theme of this dollar bin. Here we have a no-name nut buster. Nut busters are always cool to have. Here we've got some newer Cobalt pliers. These ones are Crowder and Company. And that's with the Diamond K. So I guess flip it over. The Diamond K in the handles, which I just think is cool. These guys are Fuller Japans. I don't know if they're gonna come back or not. Yeah, they're froze up. A little deox will probably help those out. This one, there's no way you're gonna see it, but it is a channel lock, or not channel lock, a crescent. These fence pliers do not have a name on it, and they're a little bit wobbly. So they may end up in a dollar bin. Here we have channel lock. Yeah, can't really see the number on them. They're fairly small. Here we've got a Craftsman 8-inch adjustable, forged in USA. And it's a WF, of course. Western Forge. I always want to say Wright Forge. It's not right. It's Western. Moves nice and freely. Here we've got another Craftsman clinch wrench. This one is an Irega, which is Spain, and it's a 6-inch. So these are ones not to sleep on, guys. These Iregas, they are rated as the best adjustable wrench in the world. They're nice and tight. They hold their position. When you look at different reviews for adjustable wrenches, these things consistently come in at number 1. Number 2 is Baco, which is owned by Snap-on. But these do even beat out Baco. So these are ones definitely not to sleep on, and you can usually find them fairly cheap here in the States. Outside the States, people know what they are. Inside the States, people look at it like it's a foreign wrench. Here we got these, which are just forged steel, USA. This one is a Fairmount adjustable. Looks like it's a 10-inch. Moves well. And here is a cleaner version of that crescent. And this should say it. This one doesn't. I've got one still in the package. That's Crescent USA. This may be the first import. These guys. Nice little cutters. And we flip it over. You can see it says Channel Lock, Meadville, PA, number 437, USA. So these are pre-blue handle, but after having the Champion d'Armont name. These linesmans are Klein & Sons. This is another one that I already have. I'm not sure which size I've got the other one in, but it's a Bulldog, West Germany. And this one, the jaw is just as wobbly. Here we've got a Crescent tool, Jamestown, New York. 10-inch Crescent alloy. And it works really nice. So all that, one lot was $1. And I got more wrenches. Sorry, this one was also in there. This Williams 3/4. And I got probably just about this many tools that went into the dollar bins. Oh, there's one more that was in there. Sorry, got moved in with another pile. These are SimCorp, Germany. So now this other stuff I picked up, this pile here came from a yard sale. All three of these pieces for $1. And these came from one of the other vendors at the market I'm at. And he gave me a good deal on these. We'll just leave it at that. So we'll start with his stuff. This is a 1723 Williams, which is a 7/16 3/8. This one has a sticker on it. Honestly, doesn't look like it's been used much. It's got a little bit of pitting, but still has all the like machine lines and stuff in it. And then this is a number 725. And that one's a Williams. Seems to be in really nice shape. That's a 5/16 and 1/4. And that's got to be one of the other measuring systems, not the SAE that we standardized on, because those are a lot larger than SAE openings. And then I walked down the street from the flea market. There was a yard sale. Picked up these three items, and the guy said, "How about $1?" I said, "How about I'll buy them?" So I picked up this adjustable. It said something about patent, I thought, someplace. Oh, there it is. So it's got the patents on it. It works nice. I don't have one of these style that's the like wrapped and pinned this way type. So that gave me something to add to the collection. And then this guy, I always think these dog bones are cool. This one says Alloy Sockets, USA, drop forged. And we flip it over, number 1999, Williams multi-socket. So it's a Williams. Definitely cool. Do not have one of these in a Williams. Usually I've got Black & Decker and stuff like that. And then the final piece in that 3 for $1 are these Craftsman Vanadium. I think these, I don't see the Circle C, but I think they may be the Champion d'Armont. Not 100% sure. Didn't see any marking, so they're pre-marking. They're a little sticky, but they do work. So I've got one more thing. I'll clear this stuff off real quick and I'll go get it for you guys. It's one that's special to me. Sit tight. So this is my favorite piece, guys. And it's my favorite piece not because of that logo on top. I mean, yeah, that makes it cool. Underline C is always cool, right? It's my favorite because my son picked it up. He was out, he's been going to Salvation Army like pretty much every day, just out of boredom. Scoot this back a little bit, you can see it's pretty large. He's been going to Salvation Army every day, and he picked up a Milwaukee circular saw for himself the other day. And then he picked this up for me the next day. And he was so excited because he knew that underline C is awesome. My son is just a cool kid. He's 22. And he knows, Dad likes Craftsman. He's getting into the woodworking stuff, as I said before, whenever I got him those saws. I don't think he was even necessarily sure what this was. But I know what it is. So it's a pipe threader. I've got a newer one, and when I say newer, it's the original Heritage logo stuff. So it's not like new. All the pieces are here. Everything seems to be in really good shape. It's set up right now for a 3/4 pipe. And I mean, who can't pass up underline C? It's got both the handles. It's got all the cutters, and all the teeth seem to be in pretty good shape. It's got all the pipe holders, or whatever you call these. You feed the pipe through so that it doesn't bounce around. The wood box is in good shape. Hinges are intact, all that good stuff. It needs cleaned. It needs oiled. It needs the latch polished. Little stuff. But it closes. Everything stays in here nicely. Yeah, so you can see that latch is a little crunchy, but not bad. Looks like it's 2 screws. It may not be the original latch. I'll have to look and see online because it's got this like square or rectangular marking around. So maybe just had a rectangular handle at one point. Latches need polished. But again, they're flathead screws. They'll come out. So I can eventually take everything out of there, clean up, scuff up the box a little bit maybe, and then seal it. I don't want to do anything to mess up this sticker. It's still in really nice shape. Unfortunately, it has this, but that's on top. So my guess is that someone put a can of something on top. So I won't be able to help through the sticker, but my guess is I can take a razor blade and get most of that out of there. So this one's my favorite because it's from my son. Plain and simple. All right, guys. So I hope you liked that one. I know it wasn't a Fix It Up Friday, but I'm having to travel this week. And I have, quite honestly, I have a mess over there when it comes to all the stuff from the haul that you guys are watching, the 8-part series. I just have a ton of stuff. By the time you get to the end of that, you'll understand. And it's a bunch of stuff to clean. Right now I'm cleaning Craftsman sockets, and I've been at it for 3 days. So I hope this was a good little bit of a break for you. I know it was a good little bit of a break for me to go to that auction this morning and keep myself from buying things that I didn't need to buy. I only bought a few things I didn't need to buy. But not spending much money, $32.34 or whatever it was at that auction. And a few bucks at some yard sales. So again, I hope you enjoyed that one. We'll get back to the regular series, and hopefully next week I'll have a real Fix It Up Friday. Until then, remember, I'm Burnout. I love you, and there ain't nothing you can do about it.